ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। संसार सागरे मग्नं दीनं मां करुणानिधे कर्ममोहगृहीताङ्गं माम् उद्धर भवार्णवात्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्षः कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुक्त्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यः दासोऽहं तव केशव। शुकरूपप्रबोधज्ञ सर्वशास्त्रविशारद एतत्कथा प्रकाशेन मदज्ञानं विनाशय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात्। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव। पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। यस्वानुभावमखिलश्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपमतितितीर्षतां तमोऽन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुमुपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणतिलकं यद्वैष्णवानां धनं यस्मिन् पारमहंस्यमेवममलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते। यत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यमाविष्कृतं तच्छृण्वन् प्रपठन् विचारणवरः भक्त्या विमुच्येन्नरः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। कृष्णप्रियं सकलकल्मषनाशनं च मुक्त्येकहेतुमिह भक्तिविलासकारी सन्तः कथानकमिदं पिबत्यादरेण लोके हि तीर्थपरिशीलनसेवया किम्। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्त्ययं रसः अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चत कर्हिचित्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। ब्राह्मणेभ्यो आचार्येभ्यो नदीनदेभ्यो साधकेभ्यो तीर्थेभ्यो नमः। शास्त्रेभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामुनये शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो वैशम्पायनादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। मत्स्यादि अवतारेभ्यो नमः। प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो नमः। श्रीदत्तात्रेय दक्षिणामूर्ति हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः। दुर्गालक्ष्मी सरस्वती स्वरूपिणि श्री आदिपराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। मातापितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। श्री आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिरहित्वा अन्यथा रूपम स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। ओम अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। Let us again wholeheartedly salute first of all the rishis, munis, gurus who are the expression of the one Guru Tattva. Also let us salute the entire our Guru Parampara, Bhagavatacharya Parampara, all the avatars in Bhagavata, the Rishi Parampara to which we belong again. All of them are none but the expression of one Paramatma only. Along with saluting, let us extend our gratitudes that time and again they are giving us these opportunities to study Shastra and remold ourselves, rededicate ourselves for the evolutionary path. Along with this gratitude, let us also pray to them to give us the sufficient strength and abilities and staminas, to give up what is to be given up and to take up what is to be taken up practically to grow in sadhana. So, unless their kripa comes up, we cannot move ahead. Having saluted them that way wholeheartedly with full faith, devotion, coming to the topic, any of the jnanam, if it is not giving the result, that jnanam is nirarthakam. If any of the information or knowledge, if it is not fetching something desirable, fetching something laudable, fetching something fulfilling, then all that knowledge information is of no use. Secondly, and that knowledge which fetches something to us, if that is not practical, then also that knowledge is of no use. So it should be a knowledge, it should be a practical knowledge, it should be the knowledge which can fetch us or get us the desirable results. If this is one case, the other case is what? All our Shastras, every portion of every Shastra is meant for only fetching us one or the other great desirable results only, the noble results. Technically, they are called as Purushartha, called as Dharma, Artha, and Kama and Moksha. All Shastras give us knowledge which fetches the Purushartha. And these Purushartha fetching knowledge of our Shastras is always, as given in the Shastras, is definitely practicable. Not it is only a dreamy idea. Having said so, these practicable sadhanas, unless we practically practice them in our life, with all the rules, regulations, with all the processes, steps, then the desired or desirable results, all the results promised by those shastras, those jnanams, will not come to us. Many times what happens is, first of all, we don't go to study Shastra. Second, even if we go to get the clarity of what Shastra is telling about the goal and means, to get that clarity itself, hundreds and thousands of classes we should listen. We have to listen, depending on what state of mind, intellect we have. Even after clearly convinced about the theory and practice, many of us still postpone. The practice of sadhana, which definitely will result if we do practice, and without practicing, which the result will not come, that sadhana we keep on postponing for various reasons. And he is the one who is going to get the results. That person only who is going to do the practice of whatever he has learned. Therefore, the Vacha Vedanta or Vacha Bhakti or Vacha any of the sadhana is of no use. Then what it should be? It is the Anushtana Vedanta, it should be the Anushtana Bhakti, it should be Anushtana Karma Ityadi, which should be heard by us. And after hearing, we have to really do those things with Nishtha as our unbroken Anushtana. If you and I can come to this level of maturity of practicing what theoretically thoroughly understood and convinced, the results are not very far. Whether the results of the Artha Kama gained through all the Upasanas and Yajna Yaga, whether the results of the Dharma and Punya gained through all the Punya Karmas, whether it is the result of Moksha gained through the sadhanas of Bhakti and Jnana. They are as like the karatala amalakam, as they say, like a fruit in the hand, readily available for us without doubt, only ready for just consumption. In the same way, the results are assured. Anyone who is not getting the results, the problem is neither in the Siddhanta, nor in the promises made by the Siddhanta, nor in the practice indicated by the Shastra. The only reason for which we are not getting the results is we are lacking in our own commitment to do the practice. In fact, 1,000 things known, but none of them practiced. More valuable than that is 3 things known, 1 thing is practiced. 2 things known, 1 thing is practiced. Even 1 thing known and practiced gives the results than 500,000 things known, but none of them are practiced. That clarity when we have, that conviction when we have, in fact, we have really deeply grown. The ones who have only got the theoretical knowledge, they have only superficially grown. Such people can give advice to others, but for themselves, they are still there only where they were in the beginning. And that is why in this particular 27th adhyaya of this Ekadasha Skandha, it is a prerana given by the Jagat Guru Krishna, the Guru there, the Bhagavan himself, to Uddhava to ask such a question, the answer of which is the entire Anushtana Prakriya of Bhakti Marg. The Anushtana of the Vedanta is Shravana Manana Nididhyasanavadi. But the Anushtana of the Bhakti is through the Upasanas, which is your technically called as Kriya Yoga. So Kriya Upasana Yoga, Kriya Karma Yoga, Kriya Ashtanga Yoga, Kriya Jnana Yoga. In this way, when you correctly understand word the Kriya, then we will not misunderstand it, because that word particularly used by one branch of sadhakas, and that's what becomes sometimes familiar and limiting in its understanding. Like some of the organizations, they talk about Kriya Yoga. Or the yoga, hundreds and thousands of organizations have come nowadays to teach yoga. To all of them, the yoga means only physical bodies, exercises of twisting and bending by which the physiological fitness is found. Although that is not wrong, but that is not the ultimate right. Yoga means, Gurudev says, some Mahatma say, no, yoga is not to twist the straight body, yoga is to straighten the already twisted mind. That is what Puja Gurudev defines. Does it mean that body twisting, which is called yoga nowadays for the health of the body, should not be practiced? No, it should be practiced. But we have to lift ourselves to the higher level of 2 more definitions of yoga. One is straightening the twisted mind also is yoga. Higher than that is using that straightened mind to reach out to the ultimate. So परमात्मा को दिलाने वाला योग को करने के लिए, मन को सीधा करने वाला योग को करने के लिए, शरीर को सीधा करने वाला योग को हमें करना है. If all the 3 are not told, only first yoga is told, then that is done. The benefits of that are gained, that he will become a healthy body. For what again? Only to indulge in more papa, only to indulge in more and bhoga. There, why one person with healthy body, living long, commits more papa, commits more and more worldliness? Because the second definition of yoga, that purification of mind is yoga, yoga chitta vritti nirodha, that he did not listen because the Guru did not tell him completely. Even if somebody does that yoga of, controlling the mana buddhi, if he is not told about this yoga is to yoke yourself to Paramatma so that you become one with him, which is an ultimate mukti, then with this variety of the manasika yoga also, he will get the benefits of that, but not the ultimate. So this we just gave an example of how some words they lose their vast meaning and they get limited in small meaning. So too the Kriya Yoga. Many people Kriya Yoga mean they see only inhaling and exhaling. Some of them focusing on something, etc. They do. But Kriya Yoga is endowed with every yoga. इस कर्म योग, भक्ति योग, ज्ञान अष्टांग योग, उसमें जो करने वाले क्रियाएं हैं उसको क्रिया योग कहते हैं. Why they are called Kriya Yoga and not Karma Yoga? Because कर्म में कर्ता होना पड़ता है. In Kriya Yoga, you just do it because Guru told, because the Shastras told, because that gives to the higher evolutionary result. So anyway, in this chapter 27, Prerana, Bhagavan only gives from within. Uddhavji asks, Sir, I am ready now with all the theory, with conviction that knowing Paramatma or being blessed by Paramatma is a means for liberation. Then how I have to invoke the grace of Paramatma? That Bhakti Yoga ka Kriya Marga aap mujhe darshaiye. In those 6-7 shlokas, Uddhavji so beautifully puts the question in front of Lord. Bhagavan, good, lucky he gets an opportunity. Then in the entire this chapter, more than around 50 shlokas, 55, Bhagavan gives all details of the practical bhakti sadhana. One aspect. Then later on, many other aspects were also developed. Bhagavan himself will say, there are infinite varieties of bhakti sadhanas ityadi. I am telling you few of them. Whether we know thousands of them, 500 of them, 100 of them, 10 of them, or very few of them, how much we are practical. That is the main point we have to carry in today's introduction. Okay. Having said so, now when we concluded 26th chapter of the Pururava Upakhyanam and the Pururava or Aila Geetam, followed by Bhagavan's explanation about the value and importance of Santa and Satsanga. What a beautiful chapter it was. We enjoyed that. Now let us again enjoy chanting, enjoy seeing the meaning, enjoy understanding, enjoy committing, and enjoy practicing even our this next chapter 27. So let us start with the entire chanting of the chapter, hardly 7-8 minutes. Then we will see, as we saw our earlier chapter, shloka by shloka meaning. And for that may we invoke again the Kripa of Bhagavan Gurus, and you and me, both of us, as a teacher and taught, without missing, as a speaker and spoken, without missing any of the beautiful thoughts that are given, with all their variety of deeper meanings to give us conviction. May we will be able to understand, grasp by their grace. With these few words, let us start the Parayanam. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणो एकादश स्कंधः मुक्तिः हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः. अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः. उद्धव उवाच ओम क्रियायोगं समाचक्ष्व भवद् आराधनं प्रभो यस्मात् त्वां ये यथार्चन्ति सात्वताः सात्वतर्षभ. एतद् वदन्ति मुनयः मुहुः निःश्रेयसं नृणां. नारदो भगवान् व्यासः आचार्योऽङ्गिरसः सुतः. निःसृतं ते मुखाम्भोजाद् यदाह भगवानजः. पुत्रेभ्यो भृगुमुख्येभ्यः देव्यै च भगवान् भवः. एतद्वै सर्ववर्णानाम् आश्रमाणां च सम्मतं श्रेयसाम् उत्तमं मन्ये स्त्रीशूद्राणां च मानदः एतत् कमलपत्राक्ष कर्मबन्धविमोचनं भक्ताय चानुरक्ताय ब्रूहि विश्वेश्वरेश्वर। श्रीभगवानुवाच न ह्यन्तोऽनन्तपारस्य कर्मकाण्डस्य चोद्धव संक्षिप्तं वर्णयिष्यामि यथा वदनुपूर्वशः। वैदिकस्तान्त्रिको मिश्रः इति मे त्रिविधो मखः त्रयाणाम् ईप्सितेनैव विधिना मां समर्चयेत्। यदा स्वनिगमेनोक्तं द्विजत्वं प्राप्य पूरुषः यथा यजेत मां भक्त्या श्रद्धया तन्निबोध मे। अर्चायां स्थण्डिलेऽग्नौ वा सूर्ये वाप्सु हृदि द्विजे द्रव्येण भक्तियुक्तोर्चेत् स्वगुरुं माम् अमायया। पूर्वं स्नानं प्रकुर्वीत धौतदन्तोऽङ्गशुद्धये उभयैरपि च स्नानं मन्त्रैर्मृद्ग्रहणादिना सन्ध्योपास्त्यादिकर्माणि वेदेनाचोदितानि मे। पूजां तैः कल्पयेत् सम्यक् संकल्पः कर्म पावनीम शैली दारुमयी लौहि लेप्यालेख्या च सैकती मनोमयी मणिमयी प्रतिमाष्टविधा स्मृता चलाचलेति द्विविधा प्रतिष्ठा जीवमन्दिरम् उद्वासावाहनेन स्तः स्थिरायाम् उद्धवार्चने अस्थिरायां विकल्पः स्यात् स्थण्डिले तु भवेत् द्वयम् स्नपनं तु अविलेप्यायाम् अन्यत्र परिमार्जनम् द्रव्यैः प्रसिद्धैर्मद्यागः प्रतिमादिषु अमायिनः भक्तस्य च यथा लब्धैः हृदि भावेन चैव हि स्नानालङ्करणं प्रेष्ठम् अर्चायाम् एव तूर्ध्व स्थण्डिले तत्त्वविन्यासः वह्नावाज्यप्लुतं हविः सूर्ये चाभ्यर्हणं प्रेष्ठं सलिले सलिलादिभिः श्रद्धयोपाहृतं प्रेष्ठं भक्तेन मम वार्यवि भूर्यप्यभक्तोपहृतं न मे तोषाय कल्पते गन्धो धूपः सुमनसः दीपोन्नाद्यं च किं पुनः शुचिः सम्भृतसंभारः प्राग्दर्भैः कल्पितासनः आसीनः प्रागुदवार्चेत् अर्चायाम् अथ सम्मुखः कृतन्यासां मदर्चां पाणिना अमृजेत् कलशं प्रोक्षणीयं च यथावदुपसाधयेत् तत् अद्भिर्देवयजनं द्रव्याण्यात्मानमेव च प्रोक्ष्य पात्राणि त्रीण्यद्भिः तैस्तैर्द्रव्यैश्च साधयेत् पाद्यार्घ्याचमनीयार्थं त्रीणि पात्राणि देशिकः हृदा शीर्ष्णा च शिखया गायत्र्या चाभिमन्त्रयेत् पिण्डे वायुवग्निसंशुद्धे हृत्पद्मस्थां परां मम आण्वीं जीवकलां ध्यायेत् नादान्ते सिद्धभाविताम् तयात्मभूतया पिण्डे व्याप्ते सम्पूज्य तन्मयः आवाह्यार्चादिषु स्थाप्य न्यस्ताङ्गं मां प्रपूजयेत् पाद्योपस्पर्शार्हणादीन् उपचारान् प्रकल्पयेत् धर्मादिभिश्च नवभिः कल्पयित्वासनं मम पद्मम् अष्टदलं तत्र कर्णिका केसरोज्ज्वलम् उभाभ्यां वेदतन्त्राभ्यां मह्यं तो भयसिद्धये सुदर्शनं पाञ्चजन्यं गदासीषु धनुर्हलान् मुसलं कौस्तुभं मालां श्रीवत्सं चानुपूजयेत् नन्दं सुनन्दं गरुडं प्रचण्डं चण्डमेव च महाबलं बलं चैव कुमुदं कुमुदेक्षणं दुर्गां विनायकं व्यासं विश्वक्सेनं गुरोन् सुरान् स्वे स्वे स्थाने तु अभिमुखान् पूजयेत् प्रोक्षणादिभिः चन्दनो क्षीरकर्पूर कुङ्कुमा गुरुवासितैः सलिलैः स्नापयेत् मन्त्रैः नित्यदा विभवे सति स्वर्णघर्मानुवाकेन महापुरुषविद्यया पौरुषेणापि सूक्तेन सामभिः राजनादिभिः वस्त्रोपवीताभरण पत्रस्रग्गन्धलेपनैः अलङ्कुर्वीत स प्रेमः मद्भक्तो मां यथोचितं पाद्यमाचमनीयं च गन्धं सुमनसोक्षतान् धूपदीपोपहार्याणि दद्यान्मे श्रद्धयार्चकः गुडपायससर्पींषि शष्कुल्यापूपमोदकान् संयावदधि सूपांश्च नैवेद्यमसति कल्पयेद् अभ्यङ्गोन्मर्दनादर्श दन्तधावाभिषेचनम् अन्नाद्यगीतनृत्यादि पर्वणि स्युरुतान्वहं विधिना विहिते कुण्डे मेखलागर्तवेदिभिः अग्निम् आधाय परितः समूहेत् पाणिनोदितं परिस्तीर्यात पर्युक्षेत् अन्वाधाय यथाविधि प्रोक्षण्यां साध्यद्रव्याणि प्रोक्ष्याग्नौ भावयेत माम तप्तजाम्बोनदप्रख्यं शङ्खचक्रगदाम्बुजैः लसच्चतुर्भुजं शान्तं पद्मकिञ्जल्कवाससं स्फुरत्किरीटकटक कटिसूत्रवराङ्गदं श्रीवत्सवक्षसम्भ्राजत् कौस्तुभं वनमालिनं ध्यायन् अभ्यर्च्य दारूणि हविषाभिघृतानि च प्रास्याज्यभागावाघारौ दत्त्वा चाज्यप्लुतं हविः जुह्यान्मूलमन्त्रेण षोडशर्चावधानतः धर्मादिभ्यो यथा न्यायं मन्त्रैः शिष्टकृतं बुधः अभ्यर्च्याथ नमस्कृत्य पार्षदेभ्यो बलिं हरेत् मूलमन्त्रं जपेत् ब्रह्म स्मरन्नारायणात्मकं दत्त्वा च वनमुच्छेषं विश्वक्सेनाय कल्पयेत् मुखवासं सुरभिमत् ताम्बूलाद्यमथार्हयेत् उपगायन गृणन नृत्यन्न कर्माण्यभिनयन् मम मत्कथाः श्रावयन् शृण्वन् मुहूर्तमक्षणिको भवेत् स्तवैरुच्छावचैः स्तोत्रैः पौराणैः प्राकृतैरपि स्तुत्वा प्रसीद भगवन् इति वन्देत दण्डवतो शिरो मत्पादयोः कृत्वा बाहुभ्यां च परस्परं प्रपन्नं पाहि माम् ईश भीतं मृत्युग्रहार्णवात् इति शेषां मया दत्तां शिरस्याधाय सादरम् उद्वासयेच्छ चेत् उद्वास्यं ज्योतिर्ज्योतिषि तत्पुनः अर्चादिषु यदा यत्र श्रद्धा मां तत्र चार्चयेत् सर्वभूतेष्वात्मनि च सर्वात्माहमवस्थितः एवं क्रियायोगपथैः पुमान् वैदिकतान्त्रिकैः अर्चन् उभयतः सिद्धिं मत्तो विन्दति अभीप्सिताम् मदर्चां सम्प्रतिष्ठाप्य मन्दिरं कारयेत् दृढं पुष्पोद्यानानि रम्याणि पूजायात्रोत्सवाश्रितान् पूजादीनां प्रवाहार्थं महापर्वस्वथान्वहं क्षेत्रापणपुरग्रामान् दत्त्वा मत्सार्ष्टितामि यात् प्रतिष्ठया सार्वभौमं सद्मना भुवनत्रयं पूजादिना ब्रह्मलोकं त्रिभिर्मत्साम्यतामि यात् माम् एव नैरपेक्षेण भक्तियोगेन विन्दति भक्तियोगं स लभते एवं यः पूजयेत माम् यः स्वदत्तां परैर्दत्तां हरेत सुरविप्रयोः वृत्तिं स जायते विड्भुग वर्षाणाम् अयुतायुतं कर्तुश्च सारथेर्हेतोः अनुमोदितुरेव च कर्मणां भागिनः प्रेत्य भूयो भूयसि तत्फलम् इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां एकादशस्कन्धे सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं, यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। कस्तूरीतिलकं ललाटवलके वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभं, नासाग्रे नवमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुं करे कङ्कणं, सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावणी। गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणिः। ॐ अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा, द्विबाहुरपरो हरिः, अफाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै, शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे, संसारसर्पदष्टं यः विष्णुरातममुमुचत्। स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे, वैकुण्ठे नास्त्ययं रसः। अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः, मामुञ्चत कर्हिचित्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः। मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। उद्धव उवाच। श्रीभगवानुवाच। Salutations to the Lord and the Gurus in all the forms, especially the great, grand, glorious Shastra Bhagavata Mahapurana. If we really believe in it and learn the art of looking at it, this Bhagavata Mahapurana is the living, vibrating expression of the divinity in all its possible forms. And through this Bhagavata Purana, Bhagavan is trying to bless us, guide us towards Him and Him and Him alone. Now, what is there in this 27th chapter of Bhagavata Mahapuranam Ekadasha Skandha is what we have so far studied theoretically about the Paramatma being the Laksha, Adhyatmika Sadhana being the Marga. If we are really convinced about it, and if we really want to come out of all the past commotions, present commotions, and the future commotions of all sorts, what is to be done practically, the sadhana, all that to an inspired person who is ready to do, all those details are given here. So, 27th chapter of Bhagavata, Ekadasha Skanda is the practical aspect. That way, every chapter was practical, but here it is more practically practical because Bhagavan explains each and every smaller than smallest to bigger than the bigger details. So, So, what are the things that are trained to us in this if we are ready to learn and practice? Are one is Paramatma's Saguna Sakara Upasana with all these steps. This is the one aspect we will see. And in the second portion, Bhagavan teaches us in a summary form the upasana of same Saguna Sakara only, but not through the Shodasha Upachara Adi, Tantrika or what do you say, Purana Okta Vidhana, but in the second portion, he teaches to us the same Upasana Paramatma in the Vaidika Paddhati. Clear? In the third portion, what teaches us is once you are established in these two types of upasanas, which are definitely going to yield you all the three results of any of your Arthakama Paripurti, as well as your Darshana Bhagavan and Salokyadi Prapti, as well as Nirguna Paramatma Prapti also. Having fully established in the experience of that through the practice of these two types of upasana, the third portion, what Bhagavan says is, now allow or give a chance or make arrangements for the entire people around you also to do the same thing and get the benefit of it. How? The way which you have done in your house, the puja, archa, adi, and got the benefit, make them also do. And how did they do? How can they do? What can be done by us is like we have our puja mandiram in the gruha, where we have done all this and got benefited. So too, in the gruha called as that gaon or the village or the town, for all the members of family called as the entire people of the village or town, for them to get the opportunity of doing the upasana, construct a mandiram. Make a place of worship by all individuals also, even by communal way together also. So, this is the third very important aspect of practically establishing such establishments and for the continuance and sustenance of that, what resources we have to give, what plannings we have to do, even the third beautiful aspect also Bhagavan tells. And towards the end, when these type of things you do, finally Bhagavan says, not only the Samipya, Salokya, Samipya, Sarstya, you become one with me only. That much is the benefit. And in the end, 2 slokas, 3, Bhagavan very consciously, cautiously insists that while doing all that of the establishment of Mandira and sustaining the programs in the Mandira, by being any of the beginner or the trustee or manager or the committee member, even a rupee of or even a little of the resource of the Mandira or the Bhagavan or even the pujaris or Brahmana, even a rupee also you take. Bhagavan here toward the end concludes by saying such person will be an insect krimi staying in the septic tank for millions of lives. He says that sentence. Huh? Vrittim sajayate vidbuk varshanam ayutam. 10,000 multiplied by 10,000. So many years he'll be what? Vitbuk. Vitbuk means the eater of the fecal matter. All those insects which are there in the dirt filth. Such place he will be born if he misuses any of the property of the spiritual related the property. Whether it's a mandira, whether an ashrama, whatever it may be, because Bhagwan doesn't want anybody of us to incur the sin. देखो 10 लोगों ने एक एक रुपए चढ़ाया मंदिर में भगवान के लिए और उस 10 रुपए को कोई खा लिया, उन 10 लोगों का पाप इनको लगता है. वो पैसे लेने का भी एक पाप लगता है. And whatever the otherwise sins they do knowingly or unknowingly, where will that sin go? That comes to this fellow who has eaten the money given by them for the sake of Bhagwan. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट इट गणपति चतुर्थी आता है और इतने सारे ब्रह्मोत्सव होते हैं इन एवरी प्लेस एंड देन लॉट ऑफ फंड्स डिवोटीज गिव द एनआरआई सेंड बेचारे द मनी टू इंडिया फॉर द टेम्पल्स एंड ऑल दैट even a rupee is eaten such fellow will be varshanam aitaitam vidbuku. See, even that aspect also Bhagavan, which we will see in detail when we go to that topic. So in this way, in this chapter, these 5 topics are covered. 5, what we say, 7 topics are covered. In the first topic, Uddhavji's Prashna. In the second topic, appreciating Uddhava, Bhagavan's beginning of the Upadesha. In the third topic, which goes into around 25 slokas, the entire Saguna Upasana as prescribed in the Pauranika language. Then after, next 15-10 slokas about same Paramatma Saguna Upasana through the Vaidika Marga of the Yajna Yaga is told. After that, Bhagavan tells the management of the or establishment of the such spiritual temples, etc. So first question, second is preparatory answer, third is Upasana is Tantrika Paddhati, Tantra means all the Pauranika. Fourth one is Vaidika Paddhati, fifth one is establishing the Mandira, etc. Then the sixth one is Falashruti, we can say. Seventh one is the cautions. In this way, in this Pachpan Shloka, 55 Shloka, all this. Beautiful topic. Those want to be practical. And what I feel is what, to a really person who is non-lazy and ready to perform, ready to be active, to such person, this chapter in its understanding, in its preparation, and in the preparation of whatever is told here, it keeps that person so extremely busily, positively, divinely occupied that not only that person escapes from the outer and inner problems, but he will become qualified so much for the Paramatma's Krupa by involving all these things. Especially the people who have, Seva Nivritta, they have become Viramana, the retired people. That age from 40, 58, 60 to 65, 68, 70, if they can take up such things, individual level may, even also collective level and mass level, I tell you, not only their house or their town, but the entire universe's atmosphere, they can change from the most worst of Bhautika material Vada to the divine. Because the people below the age of 58 are so busy in their serving the nation or the government. So youngsters are busy in their own education. Is it not? Everybody is busy. More relatively, we can say, those who have that way, can be say, tentatively are finished their responsibilities. They will have the free time if they can involve in these things. It includes so many disciplines taught, so many practical tips that are given. When they're all done, the physiological exercises will happen, the exercises for the mind of all positive sorts will happen, and they are fully occupied in such a divine activity that the devil called as the mind is not given a chance to create a havoc. Everybody should do, but especially these people can enjoy. And why specifically we are saying it? Though Bhagavan Krishna that way did not specifically tell for them. Our idea is with those 7-8 years, if somebody involves in these things, so much of positivity, discipline, divinity comes in them that they become qualified for the higher journey of the Nirguna Upasana of Dhyana Adi after listening the Upanishads from the Guru, etc. Thus, the life can be made fulfilled in those 15 years from 60 to 75, where 7-8 years are spent for this, 4-5-6 years are spent for the Vedanta Shravana Vicharana. Then the last few years, last means in these 15 years, few years, they've spent in the deep meditation. Then the glimpses of the self experience come. Bhagavad Krupa is so fully felt, the joy that the life is fulfilled. Especially. And here Bhagavan gives so big details. More detailed than this will be in other Puranas, it will be told. And in the Granthas written by the great Upasana prompting Rishis and Munis, like the Naraji himself, Naraja Pancharatram Ityadi, he writes. In that the Puja Archana Vidhanam, he develops, explains in some chapters also, based on which only different sampradaya people have developed their own different puja paddhatis. Whether it is Uttara Bharata, Dakshina Bharata, Madhya Bharata, or Purva Bharata, Paschima Bharata. Everyone have different puja paddhatis. What puja is done in Badri Kedarnath doesn't look same as it is done in the Dakshina Bharata. But all of them are from our own Purana Itihasas only, so exhaustively. So such a big way if you can do, which takes every day 8 to 10 hours, nothing like that. If that you can't do what Bhagavan Krishna said here, exhaustively if you do, which again takes 4 or 5 hours, nothing like that. Both of them are not done. at least to our own ability and capacity. If we can do that 40 minutes, 1 hour puja, even that also will fetch the according results accordingly. So, all in all, instead of staying only at the theoretic level in the class, later on, only in the mind, continuously muttering and murmuring only about the worldliness, only about the problems, only of the frustrations and depressions. Why can't we do practically and show to the Lord what you taught, O Lord, I have done. Now the ball is in your court to bless me with the best of the things. Is it not? Bhagavan will see that. Arey, theory ke saath practical with ne kiya. Now you deserve all my blessings in all these ways. The longevity, the health, so much of positivity at every layer of the personality, bubbling with such an inspiration and joy, spreading all around wherever they are, the same positive vibrations. Such way the Bhagavan will make us. If we practically do what is taught here. And if any samaja has got plenty of such people, inspiring others also to do this way, entire world will change. And all the human beings are born only for fulfilling their main Vyavaharik Dharma, followed by fulfilling their lives through the Adhyatmika Dharma of any of the Adhyatmika sadhanas which we learn from the Parampara, which we get inspired, or which is given to us sequentially, connectingly. The Karma Yoga, the first step. The Ashtanga Yoga, little of it. Then the Bhakti Yoga. Then the Vedanta Yoga. Through all those four, we can really fulfill our life. Nothing like that. It's a beautiful chapter. So, with these all introductions, let us try to taste each of the portions. Now, first one, Atha Saptavimshodhyayah. Here begins, Atham is Mangala Vachakam. ओंकारश्चात शब्दश्च द्वावेव ब्रह्मणः पुरा कंठम भित्वा विनियातौ तस्मात् मांगलिका उभौ. Om and Atha are Adbhuta Divya Shabdas which have come from the Gala, the Kantha of Brahmadeva when he was meditating on his own source called as Paramatma. So Paramatma expresses Om and Atha through him. Omkarascha Shabdascha Dvaveva Brahmana Pura Kandam Mitva Vinyato Tasmad Mangalikalivo. So Atha now Sapta Vimshodhyayaha. Out of 31 chapters of 11 Skandha, 26 are done, this 27. Then after this 4 more. Now it begins with Sri Uddhavaji's Prashna. Now who is Uddhava? Who is a cousin of Bhagavan Krishna? That way, relation-wise, he is so. Naturally, Vamsha-wise, he is also part of the Yadukula, Yaduvamsha, the Yadavas. Vrishtikula, Yadukula, he also belongs to. By Janma, he is so. By relation, he is so with Krishna. But by nature, by profession, what is he? By nature, he is a great, great sadhu. By nature, he is a great, great person of the highest level of Sataguna. By nature, he is at the highest level of, let us say, the prapatti or sharanagati, or let us say, the humility, all these qualities. And by profession, what is he? He is a bhakta and sharanagata to Bhagavan Krishna. Whatever Bhagavan Krishna says, he does it. And he has learnt great vidya from Brahaspati himself, the Guru of Devatas. See, remember all that shloka which introduces Uddhavji to us in the Dashama Skandha. Vrishninam pravaro mantrihi Krishnasya daita sakha Brahaspate sikshah sakshat Uddhavo buddhisattamaha. In those 4 words, lines only, entire thing about Uddhavji was explained there. Vrishninam pravaraha, the best among the Vrishnikula people. Mantri, the one who with his subtlety gives mantrana wherever required. An appointed minister there. Then Vrishninam pravaro mantrihi Krishnasya daita sakha. Krishna Bhagwan ka daitam is ati priya. Sakha, the friend Palu. From Krishna's standpoint. From his standpoint, he is a Sharanagata to Bhagavan Krishna. Then Sakshat Brahaspate Shishyaha. ही इज लर्न डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम बृहस्पति ओनली, देवताओं को सिखाने वाला। और कहाँ जाकर किस योग सिद्धि से उद्धव जी हैज लर्न फ्रॉम बृहस्पति, वी डोंट नो। So before Bhagavan Krishna teaches Bhagavata to Uddhava, Uddhava is already to some extent well versed from Brahaspati ji. Many things he has learned. So Brahaspate Shishya Sakshat, and then last one is Uddhava Buddhi Sattamaha. उद्धव बुद्धिमान लोगों में सबसे श्रेष्ठ। What is the श्रेष्ठता in the बुद्धिमत्ता? Only one thing, just surrender to the God or the Guru. बुद्धि का पराकाष्ठा में शरणागति होता है, याद रखना। और शरणागति जो पराकाष्ठा में होता है तो भगवान जो है बुद्धि योग हमको देते हैं। With both the things at the peak level, the Sharanagati and the Buddhi, we experience the Bhagavan in his both forms of transcendental because of the Buddhi and the immanent because of Sharanagati. तो परमात्मा का निर्गुण परब्रह्म तत्व, परमात्मा का ही सर्वव्यापकत्व सगुण साकार, in both ways without any doubt we are able to visualize, experience Bhagavan. That is the result. He is called a Buddhi Sattamaha. Uddhava is like that. कृष्णीनाम दयितो मंत्री कृष्णस्य दयित सखा बृहस्पते साक्षात् शिष्यः उद्धवो बुद्धि सत्तमः. Such Uddhava ji has become the true fit disciple, giving chance to Bhagavan Krishna toward the end of his avatara to give out entire sadhana prakriyas that are scatteredly given in all the Puranas as well as Veda Shastra Adi. And that we are seeing from first or second chapter of this 11th Skandha. And so patiently was listening, so patiently was asking, and according to his prashnas, Bhagavan is also giving the answers in the last 26 chapters. If you see, through so many of the interactions or the kahanis or by himself directly, Bhagavan Krishna, how many sadhana prakriyas he gave us. So there was the Navayogi, the kahani was there. Then there was the Yadu Maharaj and Dattatreya, das kahani was there. Then in between we will see so many of the stories were told through all of them. In fact, by now already the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Ashtanga Yogas, the Varnashrama Achara, the Vibhuti Sadhana, then the Prapti of the Siddhis, every topic was so exhaustively discussed. With our small little manabuddhis, while listening only we don't remember, understand it. Where is the question of remembering all those details? If we can remember all those details and become practical, we would have not born in this very useless Kali Yuga. We would have born in the Satya Yuga only. Anyway, we are preparing for that. Never underestimate ourselves. We are not so great. We know that. At the same time, we are trying ourselves to invoke the blessings of Guru and Paramatma through all these processes. So the point is what? Uddhavaji became the catalyst or the medium, like Arjuna became there the Vatsa, Bhagavan for Krishna to milk out all the cows of Upanishads, to give the milk of Bhagavad Gita, which has got the 18 or 17 beautiful ingredients of each chapter of yogas. Arjuna Vishada, Sankhya, Karma, Jnana, Karma Sannyasa, then Atma Samyaga, Jnana Vijnana, Akshara Brahma, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya, Vibhuti Yoga, Vishwarupa Sandarshana, Bhakti Yoga, Kshetra Kshetragna, Gunatraya Bhaga, Kshetra Kshetra Bhaga, Gunatraya Bhaga, Purushottama Yoga, Deva Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, Shraddhatri Bhaga, Moksha Sannyasa. All of them, Bhagavan looked at Krishna, Arjuna and invoking from within all these he gave out. Here also, Uddhavji has become so great. Therefore, to that Uddhavji, with gratitudes, we have to salute because of his patient asking and listening only. Bhagavan could take initiative to give exhaustively the mukti giving portion of the entire Jivana Vidhana in this Mukti Skanda 11th of Bhagavata Purana. So, in this way, having little bit remembered the greatness, grandness of Sri Uddhavaji, we have extended our salutations and gratitude to him. Ask him to bless us so that we also will be able to understand what Bhagavan said like he understood. Okay, so Uddhava Uvacha is explained. Now, what did he say? Prabho. First, he is addressing Bhagavan Krishna as Prabho. Prabhu. Prabhu has two meanings according to Bhashakara's Bhashya in our Vishnu Sahasranama Ityadi. One is Prabhu means what? Bhu means Bhavati. He is there. Prabhu means what? Very well he is there as a truth reality. And another meaning of Prabhu means what? He is Vividha Prakaraihi Bhavati. He is there, he is very much there as the truth substantial, essential, yet he himself is varied forms expressing as all the devatas, all the avataras. That is one meaning of Prabhu. Second is what? He is the Prabhu of the entire world. Srushti Sthiti Laya, because for the Srushti Sthiti Laya, whatever the Shaktis are required in their entirety, all the Shaktis are put together, is called as Maya. Now that Maya is the servant of Paramatma. Is a slave of Paramatma, or is a consort of Paramatma, or Paramatma's Ajnakari hai, that Shakti. Therefore, he is Sarva Samartha. Therefore, he is called as Prabhu. Prabhu means Sarva Samartha. That is why Bhagavan can create, Bhagavan can continuously create, Bhagavan can go on maintain, Bhagavan can maintenance make, keep on expanding when he wills. So he can dissolve all his own created and maintained entire universe. Sarva Samartha Habu. This is how the higher definitions of the word Prabhu, according to etymological, according to grammatical, according to the bhashyas of the visionaries. At our level, Prabhu is what? हमारे जीवन के सब कुछ भगवान. हम आपको प्रभु मानकर आपके चरण में शरणागत है. That's how the government in Sanskrit is called as प्रभुत्वम. तेलुगु में तो कहते हैं, I don't know हिंदी वर्ड से सरकार कहते हो, but प्रभुत्वम. Prabhutvam means ness. Prabhutvam is lordshipness. That they take the taxes, they see what the country needs, and all the amount collected is distributed accordingly depending on the requirements, and the needed things, urgently needed things, are developed. That is one aspect of Prabhutvam of the government. The other aspect of Prabhutvam is what? Wherever the atrocities are happening by the non-positive people, this Prabhu Sarva Samartha puts them behind bars. So too, wherever there are abilities, wherever there are talents, wherever there are creativities, that Prabhu, the Lord, is supposed to enhance or give opportunity for those people to expand them, to express them in the interest of the nation. Like the Raja. Prabhu is Raja only, So in that Prabhu, there are Prabhutva, there are very highly people intellectual type. So उनको वो वाला काम क्षत्रिय type है, उनको सैन्य में. Those are trading type, involve them in the traders. Then in the service type, put them in the seva. And in this between, there are hundreds and thousands of skillful people are there. And the carpenters are there, the goldsmiths are there, the ironsmiths are there, the pot makers are there. Everyone, the Prabhu is supposed to give the vritti to all of them, with which their jivika also goes on, and with whatever the vritti they are producing, they are useful for the world. I'm just giving 2-3 minutes time to explain the Prabhutva of the government. Government is run by the king, therefore he is called as Prabhu, Prabhu's Prabhutva. So here Uddhavji is addressing Krishna as Prabhu. Hey Prabhu, what a beautiful Prabhu. Prabhu, ये क्या ना बोलो क्रिया योगम समाचक्ष्व भवदाराधनम प्रभो. सो चक्ष्व आचक्ष्व समाचक्ष्व. चक्ष्व please tell. Achakshva, please tell in all details without missing anything. Samachakshva, tell everything without missing anything in all details in such a manner that not only I am able to understand, but I am able to be inspired also to take it up practically, to do it practically. That's the meaning of Samachakshva. Samachakshva is darshana. ऐसे दर्शाओ कि मुझे समझ में आए, इंस्पिरेशंस मिले करने को, और मैं उसी इंस्पिरेशन के साथ करते रहूं. इस तरह से आप बता दो. एंड व्हाट इज टू बी बता दो, क्या बताना है? क्रिया योगम समाचक्ष्व. सो क्रिया योग को आप मुझे बताओ. I already explained in the introduction, Kriya Yoga means the yoga is yoking with the Lord, with his blessings. Whether it is ultimate merger in the God or tuning to him or relating with Him with devotion, so that His blessings continuously come to us. Both things are called as yoga. And to get into that yoga of either merging in Lord or getting connection with the Lord, whatever the kriyas have to be done, please teach me. So Kriya Yoga, actually you have to reverse the word and understand. It's called as Yoga Kriya. Samachakshva. Again, the Yoga Kriya is not again all the Shavasanam, everything. Every day I do one asana, Shavasana. So Kriya Yoga is equal to Yoga Kriya. Yoga Kriya means all the Kriyas to be done to get established in the Yoga. Yoga is tuning to the Lord or merging in the Lord. Here in this particular portion, which Yoga Kriya you are asking, my dear Uddhava? Bhavad Aradhanam. The Yoga Kriya of doing Aradhana of yours, O Lord, please teach me. So Kriya Yogam Samachaksha. The moment it is asked, Krishna may think, Acha Kriya Yoga, that Kriya Yoga of the Kali Yuga, where you want to do some pranayama, you want to do some Chitta Vritti Nirodha, you want no, I am specific, sir. I want Bhavadaradhana Rupa Kriya Yoga. Why? Because this is in connection with the earlier chapter. When Bhagavan told Arjuna, that Uddhava, when you are in the satsanga, listening my kathas to the bhakta, from that guru or santa, then you will develop bhakti. You know? And when that bhakti is developed, there is nothing remains to be achieved. Bhagavan said no. So how to develop that bhakti? You said in the satsanga, the teacher's teacher, and I develop bhakti, you said. In between there is a gap. Why he is teaching how the bhakti comes to me? I have to practically do some things to develop bhakti. And after developing bhakti, with bhakti again I have to do practically. Then only Bhagavad Kripa comes. Then only the fulfillment comes. Then only I can say, or you can say, that what you said is right. That once the devotion has come, what more to achieve? See, bhakti mai labde param, then bhaktim labdavata sadhoho kimanyadavasishyate mai ananta gune brahmani ananda anubhavatmani. We have explained it so exhaustively. So keeping that in mind, Uddhava got inspired that he wants to have such a totally surrendering bhakti to the Lord by practice as well as an experience. And definitely he knows and he understands, and all of us also must know, understand and accept that it needs to be doing. It needs lot of practices to be done. So all those practices to be done by which the true devotion is developed and experienced, they are all called as Kriya Yoga with regard to Bhagavad Aradhana. This is what we have to understand. So Kriya Yogam Samachakshva Bhavad Aradhanam Prabho. So Prabho is explained to you, Samachakshva is explained to you, Uddhavavasa is explained to you, Kriya Yogam also is explained to you. One word we have to explain the first sloka is what? Bhavat Aradhanam. Now again this can be explained for 1-2 hours with so many details, but only 1 or 2 things we say. We have come into human life only to do one thing called as Bhagavat Aradhana. Please remember this much. You need not ask anything more than that, because anything more than that is only unwanted load in information level. One more thing can be said as an anushanga to this point. What is that? You and I, when we came as human beings, the entire purpose of the life is only the Aradhana Bhagavan, point 1. If that Aradhana Bhagavan is not done, anything other than that is done, all of that becomes the opposite of Bhagavad Aradhana, called as Bhagavat Aparadham. That is why when the life is dedicated for Bhagavad Aradhana, for which we have come, the purpose, with his blessings, we get that Bhukti Mukti. But instead of that, wherever we are getting entangled, in whatever the form, that being the aparadha of Bhagavan, the consequence of that, the limitations, the suffering, the troubles, the problems, the bandhana of the dukkha, all the time we go through, like the example of Pururava in the earlier chapter. Now throughout life, Pururava will be with us now. We exhaustively studied that chapter. Whichever the Shastra we study, example, the only standard have. You have heard from me, therefore you know when I say that example. But after later on, when the new listeners come, or as a habit, when you also forget after 1 month, now who is Pururava again? You may ask. But that is an example for us. He, instead of doing Aradhana Bhagwan, he did anything else. That everything else, anything else has become aparadha, and he could see that result of it. तो जीवन को हमें निर्णय करना है, भगवत आराधना में व्यतीत करनी है या उनके अपराध में करना है. It can be proved why it is an aparadha and all, because when you forget Paramatma, then the Jagat is remembered, the ego is remembered, then ego gets entangled with the Jagat by visualizing all the things through eyes and listening them through the ears, and in the heart the liking for them develops, converting it to Ragadvesha, and with prompted with Ragadvesha, the variety of the activities, first we conceive in the mind, then execute with them outside, and anything in this world done, Kaya Vacha Manasa, definitely it gives its result. The result of all this karma done because of kama, krodha, raga, dvesha will bind us to give dukkha. That is why it is aparadham. That is why a person of high maturity gained in many lives of listening to Guru, Shastra, etc., he will not do anything in life other than Bhagavad Aradhana. No, what do you mean? Does he not live his life normal of being in the world, doing his duty? No. Everything he does. But in doing all of that, he knows neither he is there as doer nor the world is there. As a doer here, as the deed there, as the result beyond, all of that is Paramatma only. In that he is establishes and does it. And that is what is said in that Shiva Shravana Stotram in the last mantra, Yad Yad Karma Karomi Tat Tat Akhilam Shambho Tava Aradhanam. The attitude of Aradhana. And in that you see, Atma Tvam, the ego in me is your own self. Girija Matehi, my own intellect is Mata Girija only. Then Sahachara Pranaha, all your Sahacharas are my 5 main and 5 Upapranas. Then Shariram Gruham, this body itself is your own temple. Pujate Vishyo Bhavoga Rachana, with all the 5 Indriyas, what are the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha I am consuming? All of them are your own puja. Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. When I sleep, it is on Samadhi Sthiti as you sit in the Kailasa. Then Sanchara Padayo Pradakshnavidihi. Wherever my feet are going, they are doing your parikrama only. Because everywhere you are only there. Then Stotrani Sarvagiraha. Every word I utter is your own stotra. This is how with my Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Antakarna, anything done is your Aradhana. I am fixed in that, O Lord. Yad yad karma karomi tatadakilam shambho tava aradhanam. See the magnanimity of the meaning in that shloka. So in this way, right from beginning, if we can equip our intellect with the correct and complete conviction that the life should be dedicated to the Aradhana of Paramatma, to be blessed by Him with the experience of Paramatma. Anything other than done, not only it results in the non-divine result, but it becomes a vasana and makes us repeat such a thing. And one day we have to forcefully, with all struggles, not one day, hundreds of lives, we have to struggle hard again to eliminate all this added dirt. You understood? Aradhana is not done, then aparadha happens through us. Then we have to do the atonement of the aparadha. Till then, the shanti will not come to us. Then if this is understood or heard, what is a wise thinking or decision? Let me from this moment live every moment as an aradhana to Paramatma. In that aradhana, everything is done to me as upasana. And when everything is done as is upasana, after that all the upasana done, all the phala that is going to accrue and the doership in me, everything is karomyat sakalam parasmay narayana iti samarpayami. Then what is you? I am only his instrument to do his own upasana. Other than that, I don't have my own specific any of the identities. Like a samsari, like a jiva, with the tadatmetopadhi, trying to get something or the other from this limited world, getting bound by that. Ye sab mere paas nahi hai. So try to visualize that person's mind in what a loftiest way it would be if he is convinced that his every moment of living is only for आराधना परमात्मा. क्या स्थिति होगा उनका? You can't put it in words in what an amount of devotion, service to the Lord he will be. Accordingly, in such a great bliss, he will be there. The bliss of being, what do you say, grateful to God as well as fulfillment within him that Bhagavan has given him that vision to live life like a aradhaka. So, bhavad aradhanam, bhavat aradhanam kriya yogam samatakshva. So, the main word is radha. When to that radha is added, becomes aradha. So, radha means radhyate. Radhyate means by which we tune to him so much regularly that he becomes helpless to bless us. In another interesting way of saying, when our life's dhara of worldliness is totally reversed and the dhara of the life of the worldliness is transferred or guided toward Paramatma, that dhara is called as Radha. That's how the Krishna and Radha. Why her name is Radha? Radhyate iti Radha. So dhara of the mind going to the world is shifted to the dhara of Paramatma. The dhara ulta karo to Radha ho gaya. So that Radha, when you add Aradhanam, A means Asamantat. Asamantat means from all directions, by all possible ways, in all the places, at all the times, we are always Aradhaka Paramatma. That is the beauty. That is what the meaning of the Aradhana. Yadyat karma karomi tattad akhilam. Shambhav tavaradhana, it is said. And at a higher level, you and I should pray to that Lord. Bhagavan, give me such a conviction and vision that I do only those things which please you, and let me do all those things to please you only as Aradhana to you. Let me not have in my life even a little iota of something other than your Aradhana called as Aparadha. That way, when we pray continuously, then all the vasanas, all the habits of the mind, all the chantal of the mind, all the senses prompting the mana, and all the worldly people, their words entering through the senses into the mana and making the mana kshobhita, which is called samsara, all that Lord removes. Thereafter, not only nobody can misguide you, not only nobody need to guide you, you yourself will be living such a highest noble life that you yourself become the guide for million people around. That power Bhagavan gives if you go on praying to him for some years. Oh Lord, may my life be a dedicated Aradhana offering at your sacred feet. This is what is the beauty of the life, dignity of the life, in fact, fulfillment of the life. देखो कितने भी जन्म देहादि तादात्म्य से आकर लेकर ना हम एक भोगी पशु की तरह जीवे तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. इन द सेम वे हाउ ब्यूटिफुल इट वुड बी, हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ लाइव्स भगवान गिव्स अस, yet each of them, in each of them, if we become आराधक of परमात्मा, और क्या चाहिए. मजेदार बात. So in the first line, Uddhava Vacha, Kriya Yogam Samachakshva Bhavad Aradhanam Prabho. Ye Prabho, Bhavad Aradhana Rupa, Kriya Yogam Samyak Achakshva Mahyam. Please teach me. Then, any authority who are practicing that, what are the benefits of that? Yasmat Tvam Ye Yatharchanti Satvataha Satvata Rushabha. Ye Satvata Rushabha. Satvata Rushabha means what? The best among Sattvatas means Yadu Amshastas. Yadavas also are called as Sattvatas. So Yadu Amshasto me, Sattvato me, Rishabha, Sreshta, he Bhagavan. Sattvata also means Sattva Gunata. तो सात्वत ऋषभ मीन्स सत्व गुणों में श्रेष्ठ, सत्व गुणियों में श्रेष्ठ. और सत्व गुणों में श्रेष्ठता क्या है? शुद्ध सत्व गुण. व्हाट इज शुद्ध सत्व गुण? इट इज नो मोर ए सत्व गुण, इट इज तत्व ओनली. देवर सात्वत ऋषभ मीन्स व्हाट? शुद्ध तत्व गुण रूप, शुद्ध सत्व गुण रूपी तत्व में रहने वाले हे भगवान. तो यादवों में श्रेष्ठ, सत्व गुणों में रहने वालों में श्रेष्ठ, और शुद्ध सत्व रूपी तत्व में एस्टैब्लिश रहने वालों में श्रेष्ठ हे भगवान. श्रेष्ठ विकास ऋषभ ऋषभ ऋषभ. ऋषभ इज श्रेष्ठ, ऋषभ इज धर्म, ऋषभ इज डायनामिक एक्टिविटी विदाउट सेल्फिशनेस. बैल जो है हमेशा डायनामिक एक्टिव करता है जो उनका मालिक ने कहा, और जैसा कहा वैसा ही करता है. दैट इज वाई द ऋषभ वर्ड इज यूज्ड फॉर श्रेष्ठता. ऋषभ इज यूज्ड फॉर द हार्ड वर्क. ऋषभ शब्द यूज्ड आल्सो फॉर द धर्म. Bhagavan is like that. He only established dharma. For that only he takes the avatara. And when he takes avatara, he works very, very hard. And that is why he is the Shrestha among all the expressions. So, hey Rishabha, hey Satvata Rishabha, what is that? Satvataha. Satvataha means again all the Yadukula Vasins. Again, lot of stories, lot of things explained. In Yadukula, at your time of your avatara, how many thousands are born? Lucky enough they are all to be blessed by you, to be getting the opportunity to see you, to have your darshana, to be touched by you, to be loved by you. ये यदुवंशस्थ के इतने भी लोग जो भगवान कृष्ण के काल में थे, all of them are भाग्यवान are not. They have Bhagavad Darshana, Bhagavan had talked to them, Bhagavan went to their houses. How come they got that blessing? See, Yadavas are blessed because they are at the time of Bhagavan Krishna. It is understood. They are so blessed, lucky. But that opportunity, how did that come to them? We have to know. The answer is all those jivas earlier done this your aradhana, because of which they are born at a time when you have taken the avatara. Therefore, sattvataha, what they have done, because of which they are born in your kula, to have your darshana, sparshanam and variety of the sambandha. This is with regard to sattvata means Yadava's meaning. Second meaning was what? Satvataha means what? Again same thing. Two meanings more there. Sattva-guni people आपका ही आराधना करते हैं. वो वाला आराधना का पद्धति हमको बताओ. The third meaning is what? Those people at whatever the level of rajas and tamas they are there, but they want to come to sattva guna. What are those practices done by them takes them to their desired state of sattva guna? Please explain to me. This is the meaning of sattvataha. When we take the meaning of it, not taking into account the yadavas in the mind. So sattvataha means जो सत्व गुण चाहते हैं या जो ऑलरेडी सत्व गुण में है, किस आराधना से आपके उपासना करके यादव बनकर आपके साथ उन्होंने उस अवतार के लीला को आनंद पाया, वो वाला क्रिया योग हमको समाचक्ष्व. सो क्रिया योगम समाचक्ष्व भवद आराधनम प्रभो ये सात्वतर्षभा. Again, what is that? Satvataha yasmat tvam ye yatha archanti. Yatha means by the practice having done which they became so great. Here Satvata means all. एक तो यदुवंशस्थास, second is who developed sattva-guna, third who used sattva-guna to reach the God. All of them, sattvataha we can call of them. What archana paddhati they followed. Yasmat means taking guidance from which knowledge, having practically done, they have become sattvata. Hey sattvata rishabha, please samachakshva, give all those things in detail. Why I am making you struggle to understand by explaining this in so much detail? Not that in one line I cannot just say and go. Uddhava asked Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan, tell me the Kriya Yoga, how to do your Aradhana. And Uddhava said, I want to listen because I heard from some other people that is a very authentic sadhana for reach the ultimate. Can you teach? So I can do it in 2 minutes also. But in our Sanskrita Bhasha, when any of such great verses are written by Vyasa ji, uttered by Uddhava ji, each of the word conveys such a sublime variety meaning. And all those explanations are very substantial. In fact, studying the Shastra in that way is called as Adhyanam. That Adhyanam of Shastra in this way is the one which expands our intellect for higher and deeper knowledges. Then only we evolve. Literal meaning anybody can study when they say the translation. But what is meant behind every of the word? Why he called him as Prabhu? Why he called as Sattvatarushabha? Then why he said Yasmatvam Yatharchanti Sattvataha? Why Samyak Achakshva? Why Kriya Yogam? You understood? This is called Adhyanam. Then it gives a clarity to us. Oh, with this attitude, this aspect of the thing we have to learn, and with this attitude, we have to practice it for this benefit. इस तरह का शुद्ध बुद्धि का सत्वगुण बढ़ता है. Then only we can become true sadhakas. Okay. Now, kriya yogam samachakshva bhavadaradhanam prabho yasmat tvam ye yatharchanti satvataha sattvatarushabha. This is the simple meaning of this Prathama mantra. One or two more things are there. Tomorrow we'll explain. Today, again, the second mantra, literal meaning, and we'll conclude it there. Etat vadanti munayaha. Are, who told you like this? Apne out of the hat you are speaking? That the Satvatas worship me, do the aradhana of me and get blessed by me? किसने कहा तुमको? मैं तो कहा नहीं तो कभी. अरे ये तद वदंती मुनयः. And Munis told it not once, Baba, again and again they told. What they told about your Aradhana, they told. What they told about my Aradhana? Ki it is a giver of Nishreyasam Nunam. It is a giver of the moksha for the practicing human beings. मुनि लोगों ने कहा, एक बार नहीं, बार बार कहा. अरे कोई मुनि ने कहा तुम कह दो तो why will I listen to this? कोई कोट कर एग्जाम्पल. Uddhav says, Narada, Bhagavan Vyasaha, Acharya Angiraha Sutaha. Naradji himself, Vyasa himself, then Angirasa Sutta is Brahaspati. So who are these three and where did they say in their own compositions? Little bit we'll touch tomorrow. Then in this way, Uddhava convinces Krishna to teach him the entire Bhagavan ke Aradhana karne wale Kriya Yoga. He asks only that. But Bhagavan says two things. One, they are infinite things, Baba. Among them, the most important two I will teach you. One is Vaidika, second is Tantrika. Tantrika means not Tantra. Again, like the word I explained to you, yoga, how it is got limited meaning. So to the Tantra has got such a negative meaning. Tantra means technical practices. So it's a logic. That's called Tantra. Tantra is not that Tantra Vidya, boom, bam, bhat, vagara karte hai na. Never ever misunderstand like that. All the upasanas are called a Tantra. We have three things now, mantra, tantra and yantra. Mantra mainly is attributed to Vedas. Tantra is mainly attributed to the Puranas. Yantra is mainly attributed to the human beings who doesn't know these two. So they create all the yantra and then they get caught up in that. This also we will explain when that topic comes, when Bhagavan himself answers. So today we have just given in the introduction the need of the practicality also theory what we have done. Then we have to be inspired in that. In that way, inspired to practice, Uddhavji asking Krishna to teach the Upasana Vidhi. Then, having completed his question in next 2-3 slokas, he gives mic to Bhagavan. Bhagavan slowly develops. And as we saw the chapter 26th in the exhaustive details at our level, to these things when you study the भाष्य of भागवत of श्रीधरा इत्यादि, वो लोग तो और भी महा कारक पुरुष ज्ञानी है, उनके भाष्य में तो और भी होते हैं. बट आई हैव नॉट स्टडीड, मेरे को बुक भी नहीं है, बट वी आर एट आवर इंटेलेक्चुअल लेवल ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड. इन द सेम वे दिस 27 chapter also, few shlokas we see and try to grasp what is said in detail. Thereafter, whatever practically that can be done, we will do. If God wants, you and I can assemble at one place, stay 10 days, and there every day, once this Kriya Yoga sadhana of 4-5 hours we can do. एक दिन भगवान विष्णु का, एक दिन शिव जी का, एक दिन माता रानी, एक दिन गणपति बापा मोरया. We can enjoy it. एक दिन राम, एक दिन कृष्ण. That's what. And each of us also start doing this Kriya Yoga as it is taught, which we are going to see in a week's time. Little, thoda shuru karo. Maybe in a time target of 1 or 2 years, maximum things we learn. Among that, whatever is feasible, we start doing them and we get established in the doing of that. Then we can see the transformation happening in us as promised by Krishna and as expected by Uddhava. What is the next continuation? Tomorrow we will see. Sarvam Sri Krishna Chandra Charana Aravinda Arpanamastu. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. O Sri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. Thank you, friends. Now we will study Valmiki Ramayanam. In 10 days' time, we will conclude Valmiki Ramayana also. Then what to do, we'll tell you.